Good evening. I will read each topic title first, followed by a clear, listener friendly summary in English. Each topic is presented in 3 to 4 lines that faithfully convey the key points. Topic 1: Fresh U.S. strikes on Iran and escalating Middle East tensions. U.S. strikes on Iranian targets have sharply raised regional tensions. Kuwait briefly closed its airspace and announced interceptions. Israel warned of launches from Lebanon, and Iran reported strikes on U.S. bases and Gulf facilities. Iran threatened targets tied to Elon Musk, including Starlink ground stations, raising concerns about private tech and infrastructure becoming targets. Oil prices reacted higher, WTI roughly 90.93, Brent 93.95, but record U.S. exports and alternate routes have limited immediate supply disruption fears. Markets are jittery. Equities fell, and analysts warn that prolonged conflict could push oil, inflation, and borrowing costs higher. Topic 2: Energy-driven inflation prompting ECB rate hike amid U.S. CPI strength and political noise. Surging oil driven by the Middle East shock boosted headline inflation. U.S. May CPI annualized at 4.2%, with energy accounting for over 60% of the rise, while core CPI stood at about 2.9%. The ECB responded with a 25 bp rate hike to 2.255 cent, its first increase since 2023, citing energy-led inflation and leaving open the possibility of further moves. U.S. markets reacted to high CPI and geopolitics, with stocks and yields moving sharply. Fed policy timing now depends on inflation persistency and conflict risk. Political headlines, including Trump's comments on inflation and FISA and personnel disputes, add to market uncertainty. Topic 3: Big Tech and Space IPO wave reshaping Wall Street, raising regulatory and hedging challenges. A rush of mega listings, led by SpaceX's planned blockbuster IPO and filings from OpenAI Anthropic, has put large supply and governance questions on the table, as founders' control structures and rapid index inclusion are scrutinized. Fierce product competition is pushing firms to speed IPO timing and to frame revenue recognition and business stories in ways that challenge investors. The scale of these deals threatens to force index and passive flows, complicate hedging and option strategies, and create demand concentration and potential demand fatigue. Profitability concerns persist. Heavy compute and cloud costs, token-based economics for AI services, and near-term losses raise long-term margin uncertainty. Topic 4: Financial markets nervy. Volatility spikes, asset moves, and regional rebalancing effects. Volatility has jumped as tech-led selling feeds larger implied volatility in the Nasdaq versus the S&P. Models show meaningful probabilities of large S&P and Nasdaq declines over coming months. Option market metrics. S&P downside touch probabilities and Nasdaq implied volatility point to elevated risk, while Russell 2000 shows high 30-day volatility. Korea was hit by foreign investor rebalancing after a sharp 2025 rally led by semiconductors, triggering outsized selling, a weaker won, and even circuit breaker action. KRX says flows reflect rebalancing rather than loss of confidence. Central bank tightening in response to energy-driven inflation is compounding market stress. Topic 5: Credit markets show split picture. Opportunity in private credit, stress in private equity. Rising rates have made private credit more attractive. Floating rate loans and middle market direct lending see wider spreads and better yield prospects, while private equity faces pressure from long-held, unsold assets, estimated near $4 trillion. Liquidity strains have prompted some managers to tighten redemption terms and strengthen loan documentation. Certain evergreen funds have restricted flows. Heavy software exposure and AI-driven disruption create K-shaped risks across portfolios, prompting defensive tilts to tangible or mission-critical assets. The net result: differentiated performance across managers, possible fundraising strain for some PE firms, and active risk management measures by allocators. Topic: